But who you voting for? No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. Okay,
Mickey
again,
Mouse.
he's gonna make a great candidate. All right. Um, my name is Latoya Turner. Oh, thank you. Nice little tag swag. Um, my name is Latoya Turner, and I'm married to Jackson, but I still go by my last name, so that's why I told you I am Latoya
I
Jackson.
was like, but it's Latoya, it's not Latoya.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
nobody ever says that, so I
But
go by
you
it.
said it. So
Yeah, yeah, it's my name.
Latoya.
Latoya.
There you
Yeah,
Jackson.
that's right. If
I
you're
know
dancing,
Jackson.
no, I'm
go. All
joking.
right. All right, Miss Jackson.
Yeah. So, but everybody always laughs, and I sing way better than her, so I just stick with
Come on.
Turner. You know,
We're recording.
that's right.
Let's
I
get a
had to say
sample. Get a
that.
sample.
Well, you know, because we're recording,
All right.
I can't do that for my lawyer. But part of the reason that I contacted you guys is I have the degree that I'm pursuing is a new type of degree. It's a bachelor's of interdisciplinary studies. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay.
We've talked about
But we
it.
talked. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
basically did this in 2004
Yeah.
at Penn State
Right.
with my educational studies degree.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I hadn't heard of it before, but John was telling me a little bit about it based on what he did and based on you guys' discussion.
yeah, but yours is still a bachelor's of science or arts.
yes.
Yeah. But
Yes.
you know the point of Georgia State and some other major universities creating this particular degree program is the idea that as you know we move forward, everybody is collaborative in order to create, innovate, research, build, and educate. And to have someone graduate from an undergraduate program with being a multi-specialist, you know, and putting that out in the field, how is that going to work?
Mhm.
You know, as someone is embarking on their career path.
Mhm.
Now, you probably can't tell, but this is not my first go on the rodeo. I am a non-traditional student.
Okay.
Don't look at all that gray. I probably
even
just
notice it
right.
until
I
you
just
said
drew major
Yeah.
attention. I saw both your eyes start counting.
She's got gray.
Right. Thank you, John. Thank you. That's what you're supposed to say. But so I'm 40 years old, going back to school, doing it again, and because I had so much corporate experience, I thought, well, this will be a great program. But I'm the only one that has ever selected the two disciplines I have. You can choose eight, 2 out of 8. And mine is family and community literacy and learning technology.
Mhm.
Because of that, I don't have a mentor. I don't have anyone to go to and say, how do you do this? How was this for you? And so I'm left to kind of do some of that investigative work in some of my other students, classmates rather. They also have to find out what kind of opportunities would be present for us in the workplace.
So you have other colleague or classmates who chose these two as
No,
well?
I'm
Okay.
the first one if I
First and only right now. Okay.
in 7 years of discipline selection. No one has selected these two particular disciplines. So I'm kind of like either a freak show or a case study. I don't know for Georgia State, but I like to think the latter.
From column B.
Yeah, you know. So the reason I selected family and community literacy is because I come from a background where my father couldn't read, and his mom died of breast cancer in the early 60s. And so, there was no treatment options. He dropped out of school in the 3rd grade to help support his family. And he had his father, but everybody had to work. And so he never went back to school. So around the age of 7, I started reading for my father. And my mother has a high school education employee for the state. He ended up doing pretty well for himself, but he was functionally illiterate. This is actually the first time my dad is going to vote ever. So that's a major deal. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to do that. Plus, I have a background in software training, working for Microsoft. I told John I worked for McKesson pharmacy system. So I thought, okay, well, that's kind of what I do. But I found it's so much more. I stumbled across TAG as I was looking for things that brought together technology and education. And when I typed in technology, education, organizations, Georgia. Boom, I got tag. And so you're it. And so that's why I'm here today.
Awesome.
All right. So now it's all about you. Unless you have any questions for me.
I don't know if you're going to kind of talk about this a little bit more, but I would love to hear about what it is that you are like, what is that you're wanting to do with us, what it is that you're trying to get from Tag and Tag Ed, or do you just kind of want us to talk about the programs?
Yes, and yes.
Okay.
Again, what I'm looking to do is find out, and just from briefly reviewing the website and the information that I have in front of me, Tag does a lot. I mean, and when I look at this 34 societies, I don't know the
We're done here.
balance.
She gets it.
That's it.
No.
I mean, really.
No, I don't even know it.
This
Really
is a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder what staff does, how many people you have on staff to do all of these programs and events. And it doesn't seem like a big office.
No, this is it.
That's it.
So-
You miss it.
Yeah. And so I think this is a great example of interdisciplinarity at work. So I like to hear about your backgrounds, and what you do. But first I want to know, what is TAG? Like,
Okay.
if you could define TAG.
So the About Tag document that I gave you, or that you picked up, it is kind of going to be the main nuts and bolts of Tag. And Tag is the largest state trade association centered around technology, with 30,000+ members, up to kind of 33, 34 at the moment, comprised of 34 kind of mini associations or societies, and they're around 34 different topical areas.
Yeah.
Which you can see, and which really touch any line of business, from marketing to developers and coders to data science and analytics to manufacturing and infrastructure. So when you cover the full spectrum, really any part of a company can become engaged. The boards are made up of anywhere from 6 to 60 volunteers that make up the society boards, and they're all volunteer led. So our volunteers are driving our content, and the content is driving / should be driving to make Georgia a top 5 technology state and bring to the table the pertinent, the trend-setting discussions and topics that are happening in and around the state and in and around the world.
Is Georgia a top 5 technology state?
Right now,
We're not
I don't
there
know. We're
yet.
close. We're
We're
close.
Pretty darn close.
Yeah.
I just
So-
would think all the industry, flooding,
Yeah.
Georgia,
Yeah, it's definitely getting there.
Yeah, I mean, the state of Georgia is top in payments. 80% of payments or more. That was like last year's stat, but 80% of payments come through Atlanta.
Is that in the world or the nation? Like
Probably, you think the U.S.?
Definitely the U.S.
Yeah,
Maybe
80% globally?
globally.
I don't know.
I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, because I
But
heard
I
that on
know-
NPR actually.
Mhm. See, I know this. We have so hundreds
Mhm.
of payment companies.
Yeah.
Some of the
Wow.
largest: First Data,
Yeah.
Global Payments,
Uh-huh.
Fiserv.
Income is one.
I think
Yeah.
Fiserv is one as well.
Mhm.
And then you have like
First Data.
the small startups. So it's just massive. And our fintech board is the 60 deep one. So,
What's fintech?
financial technology. And that is kind of just another one, like, and like the pillars I brought along with you to take a look at, like the state of the industry report for 2016
Okay.
around like the state of the industry of technology in Georgia. Give you some facts and information there. as well as the digital media and entertainment because of your kind of the gamification of things and things like that. Our gaming companies and those types of companies are going to be listed on that map for you. But TAG's membership, kind of our societies are our nuts and bolts. Our membership is comprised of individual members, so you wanted to join by yourself, so you would come on board as an individual member. You have a smaller company that, it doesn't make sense for me to go Premier, but I have up to 5 employees that I would want attending events and engaging in our communities. Or you have the capital and want to invest in a small, mid, or large Premier membership, and that gets you a relationship director like myself to help you steer yourself through the membership, engaging with all of our different points around the association. Now, our societies are widespread, but the association as a whole is widespread as well. So we have a 2-person events team. We have our lobbyists and folks who work on legislation in states. We have our own legislative agenda, things of that nature. We're birthing a National Technology Security Coalition, NTSC, which is going to be a national organization around information security and technology security, coming out of TAG. And so we have them in office. We have our career services, which is our career fair events, as well as our job boards. We have our accounting team, our operations team. We have probably 5 or 6 interns right now. We have our marketing department, which is comprised of 2-3 people. That's digital. That's our social media. That's our press releases. We put out a Hub magazine 6 times a year, every other month. I have a copy of our digital media entertainment one in here for you. We have our membership team. We have folks that work with individual membership, folks that work with our corporate memberships. We have some of our TAG wide events. So like the major events that we put on as an association, not our societies. So we have folks in that. We have folks in corporate engagement, executive engagement, getting our C-levels involved in a different area of programmings, sponsorship. We also have another organization that's kind of branched out but is within TAG called TAG Education Collaborative, which Christina is the newest member of the TAG Ed team, and can talk a bit about it.
Yeah.
I kind of just have my spiel and then I refer
Okay.
to the different people that are the experts.
Well, let me ask a question just for clarification.
Yeah.
So, as a member, you're privy to go and be involved with all of these societies
Yes.
under TAG?
So once you're a member, you can attend anything.
Any event.
Okay.
And then it's either going to be 80% of it ish. Remember the ish is going to be free for our members, and then our all day events, our events around the meal are going to have a ticket.
Okay.
And then the members will always get the member rate, and then we'll have the non-member rate.
So the societies host events related to the
That particular
subject
industry.
that industry. Awesome. And so as a student, like I said, when I told them I was going to look up TAG, they said, "Oh, well, I know about them. We have a Georgia State membership that you can get. Ask them about it." And so I really don't know what it. I know you said
Yeah,
you
so-
signed me up, so I don't know what.
Yeah, so Georgia State is invested in a large Premier membership, so it means anyone at Georgia State can be involved with TAG.
Awesome. So I can look up some events and just
Sign up,
sign up.
get yourself out there.
So you did mention it's 34 societies. As I looked at this, I would like to, before you go and explain, I'd like to explain a concept that I would like to help bring, to really everyone. Like, it's called Big L literacy. And so when you think literacy, what, just briefly, what do you think?
Reading.
reading,
Hmm.
writing.
Reading comprehension. Yeah.
Yeah. Most people think just reading and writing or the ability to read and write. The National Association or Assessment of Literacy says read and write in English.
Hmm.
Big L literacy is a concept that one of my professor's wives talks about, which is, you know, anything that helps you sustain and function in life. So not just the ability to read and write, but to be able to pay your bills, to be able to, apply for a loan, navigate through a website. Digital literacy is a big initiative right now. So as I'm looking at these tag societies, um, under the umbrella of Big L literacy, I just marked a few things like digital and media entertainment that you talked about, financial literacy, health literacy, um, and even more specialized forms of literacy, like you were saying, information security. Another way to say this is, I see that all the interdisciplinarity that happens here, all the different types of backgrounds from that has to be present by the staff here.
Mhm.
And so, Christina or
Mhm.
Christine,
Christina.
as you talk about, your specific, um, you know, your specific spoke on the wheel.
Yeah.
Can you also talk about your background and, if there's some difference there?
Yeah. I'll start with my background. And if you want to pull up the
Okay.
last, that one, yeah. So that's a program that I work with. But I have a technical background, so I got my degree in computer engineering,
Okay.
and I worked as a consultant for about 6 years. Worked with Accenture. Actually, they're in this building, but worked doing information management, business intelligence, kind of like reporting and analytics, that sort of consulting for 6 years. And then I kind of decided to leave corporate America to go and work in like the nonprofit space. And I worked for a missions organization in North Georgia. And then I worked with Girls Who Code, which is a nonprofit organization geared towards like teaching high school, really all girls, but I worked specifically with high school juniors and seniors, girls how to code, kind of doing some of their coding camps and programs. And now I'm here with Tag Ed. And so, like John mentioned, Tag Ed is we're a part of Tag, but we're the nonprofit arm of Tag. And so while Tag really supports and Georgia's technology companies and really like provides a space for our professionals and students of technology to network and get involved in that space, Tag Ed supports Georgia's technology workforce by developing high school students and middle school students who are not yet in that professional space. Our desire is that we would like encourage and really get students to be interested in technology, prepare them for interviewing and application skills, help them to understand what types of scholarships they could apply for, and understanding that whole like college prep process, and getting them excited about STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, with the desire or with the goal that the students that we foster and the students that we touch will then go on to pursue degrees and careers, and they'll feed back into Georgia's technology workforce as employees. And so we're kind of trying to prepare them to be great employees. My specific program within Tag Ed is called the Exploring STEM Careers Pipeline Program, and it's new. We just started it, which is why I just came on staff. And so this program, so originally Tag Ed did a lot for, students, all students. It didn't really matter. And they did web challenges. We hosted interns, so got them involved in high school internships. But what they found was that they were getting some of the best and brightest students around Atlanta, but also around like the state of Georgia, who are highly competitive. And we were But they kind of had to find us. So it's not that we were neglecting, but we didn't have a touch point with some of the underserved communities because they come from different backgrounds. They don't have the same family structure or the same support that allows them to kind of go out and seek these opportunities. Right. And so they created this program where we want to provide the same sort of support and the same type of kind of like encouragement and development for underserved students who live in maybe lower income neighborhoods. They attend maybe some of the more underfunded high schools. And so this program is specifically for them. So I'm bringing workshops, technical development workshops, coding workshops, interview and application workshops, financial literacy, SAT, ACT prep, college prep, all of these different workshops to the students in the schools through after school workshops there.
Let me ask you a question. Are you finding that there are careers that you guys are presenting to them that they never heard of?
Well, what I'm finding, so we're still in the recruitment process, but what I'm finding just in speaking to the students is that as soon as you mention that this is a STEM program, as soon as you mention that, that TAG is the Technology Association of Georgia, they kind of shut off because they could be, and it's because their opinion of technology is you're going to be pushing up your glasses, hunched up over a computer,
right,
creating a program, and they're like, oh, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So they don't have an understanding of how much a foundation in technology plays into a wide range of careers and opportunities, from entertainment to fashion to medicine and sports and graphic design and all of these things that are fun and cool that they're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't realize that a program like this and just understanding the basic concepts of mathematics and engineering and science, and relating with other people and presenting yourself well and how you communicate, how all of these skills really are foundational for any type of career that they would be interested in. And so that's the step one, is helping them to understand. So I'm asking them, well, what do you want to do? What are you interested in? And then helping them understand how a program like this will help them achieve the goals that they have. They just don't know.
Right.
And they don't have people who are in their families and in their corner who can really speak to it. And so we kind of want to be that another voice to support whatever kind of family support and teacher support that they have. And so with that being said, we're also supporting the teachers because, I had a STEM fair night and talking about this program, and I had a lot of teachers come to me saying, we want to incorporate more technology in our classrooms. We want to be able to speak to what kind of things businesses are looking for, but we don't know because they've been teachers, their whole life, and they're in the classrooms and they're just really trying to meet the need of the classroom. And so we're supporting the teachers as well through providing this program. Our goal is that we would eventually kind of hand it off or have the staff and administration kind of see what bits and pieces they want to take and keep and continue to run with.
Okay, awesome. Have you guys heard of flipped learning?
No,
No,
I have not.
Flipped learning is that very thing. It is infusing technology with education, or even the principles of learning theories, learning strategies, helping teachers go from the kind of observatory learning style to being innovative in their teaching, like using, all different types of devices, creating light boards, maybe using Skype or Google Classroom, or it's flipping the way that you do, the way you teach. It's actually called fliplearning.org. And it's a lot of great resources, but it sounds similar to that. So when you said that, I was just thinking a whole bunch of things, but number one, I grew up in Detroit, and so we're one of the few states that have like vocational tech schools where while you're in high school, you can learn a trade at the same time.
I think that's everywhere.
Well, it's not like in the way the program is set. It's not quite like you go part of the day and the
Yeah.
other half.
We had that.
What's it
in
called? You had
that in
Pennsylvania.
Georgia?
Yeah. No, in my
Oh,
high school
yeah.
in Pennsylvania.
It's
Do
not
they
in
have it here?
Georgia.
Is it the same as like the? I don't know. I didn't go to high school here, but is it the same as dual enrollment?
Kind of.
Kind of.
They that's like the fancy word.
But
Okay.
I wonder if
Back in the day,
Yeah.
because Georgia Piedmont Tech has high schoolers enrolled. In some
Right, they have
programs, too, so.
a more of a dual enrollment
Mhm.
academic part, but I wonder because Pennsylvania also was kind of like industrial. Because my
Yeah.
mom is from Pittsburgh, actually.
Nice. That's where I'm
PA.
from.
Churchill is where
Okay.
she's from, but I don't know.
North of the city,
Yeah.
Beaver County.
Yeah, I don't know it, but
I was
he said it's
I was
cool.
gonna move to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that I was gonna work in an organization there called Urban Impact.
Huh.
And then but I decided against that. I went up to visit, and it was just way too cold. And I was like, I can't do winters up here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
It was
And
it was
it's-
last December I went
It's
to
not,
visit, and
it's
I was
not
like,
the
no.
coldest place in the country, but it
Yeah,
gets
but I'm
there.
truly Southern. I've been here my whole life.
Yeah.
It was Louisiana, Texas, Georgia.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
different animal.
you get to wear all different kind of boots and coats.
Oh yeah, all about it.
But so one of the reasons they started that was to kind of show careers that just kids didn't know existed,
Mhm.
you know. And so when you were saying, you kind of asked them what they want to do. I remember that there was a woman that came in from and talked, did something. She said, "What do you want to do?" And I like to swim. And she said, "Okay, well, do you like fixing things?" And he said, "Yeah." And this young man, she told him about being an underwater welder, and he actually retired
Mhm.
from doing that. And he came and talked to us about how they married those. Then he like, I didn't know that was a job.
Right.
And so when you were talking about, kind of bringing to their attention what's out there, the companies that, they don't even think technology is involved
Mhm.
in, and their reaction to that. I would like to hear, if you guys could just throw out, some of those, surprise jobs or those surprise companies that you don't think
Mhm.
when you think technology, but they are involved in a great impact in technology,
Yeah.
or they have a great impact in technology.
So you're asking what are some of the jobs that exist, or what's the
Both.
response that I've gotten?
The jobs, the companies,
Mhm.
that may be like, for instance, you don't think technology when you think Chick-fil-A.
Mhm.
You think fast food.
I mean, a company that, and this may be like, this is John Dingfelder's unofficial opinion,
Mhm.
but a company that's not embracing technology is a company that are you going to be around?
Mhm.
And like, I can name the ones that were behind the times that are, Lord rest their souls, are no longer with us, or not with us in the same capacity of what we thought they were. But the just about 500 premier members are all utilizing technology in some way. But like, Sears and Roebuck with the catalog giant that missed the mark when everything went online, and look where Sears is. Give me another one.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking. Totally agree with you. It's not. I mean, it's not. I don't think that there's a specific that there's a list of careers or industries or companies that are more relevant to technology. I think it is across the board. So when I think of maybe career paths that students may have, that they don't think that technology would be a part of it. And those are things that may be around like English and arts and, I met a guy
Right.
who's like, oh, well, I want to be a journalist. So this program is not for me. So,
Right. That's what I mean.
things like English majors or the arts, like there was
Well,
a guy,
what would you
I met a kid who was
suggest for him? Not
right.
to
So
interrupt you,
publishing,
but-
if you think about like the publishing right now and how books and libraries are even not as relevant as they used to be. You know, everything is online. You know, we have the Kindle, we have you know, online kind of libraries, and everything is going digital. So even if you were an author, you know, or a journalist, even being a journalist, you know, understand, like, the blogging, you know, space is really big right now. If you want, it's about the impact. So that's what I would tell the students. It's not just about, well, I want to be an author, or I really like English, or I really like journalism, but why do you like it, and what do you want to do with it? Do you want to reach as many people as possible? You know, do you want to make an impact? Do you want, you know, just your family and friends to read your material, or do you want the world to read your material? And if you want a broader reach, then technology is really the only way to do it, because it's about connection, right? And technology connects you with people who you would never, you know, see, and who would never come to the local library in your, you know, in your town.
And libraries are evolving. Like at the University of South Carolina, when I was in my Master's of Higher Ed program, the library science folks were there, and you're not, like, I'm sure you learn the Dewey Decimal System, but you also learn all the journals and the online resources, and really, like, they're like masters at how do you excavate data that you need for whatever you're looking for.
Yes,
like,
that's a great
the librarians,
definition.
like, I would go to the librarians for anything, and they'd be like, well, have you checked here? And I'm like, no, I didn't know that it existed. and so it's like, if you want like a miner of data, is a librarian.
And STEM, and what I tell the students is that STEM is not just about a career, but it's also teaching you how to think in a certain way. So problem solving, like trial and error, you know, like the scientific method, you know, these sorts of things, research and analysis, like these are things that will help you just in life, analyzing data. Like I said, in problem solving, when I think about arts, like graphic designers, you know, that's a big career right now. And I met a kid who's like, well, I like to draw. Like, he likes, you know, drawing in pen and paper. Well, you know what? They're creating like the surfaces and all these notebooks that are allowing you to literally take your stylus and draw. And it makes, you know, you get things done faster.
Pros.
And
like, if you don't have digital design experience, no one's looking at you.
Someone can take your notebook and burn it, you know? But if you have your stuff like uploaded,
Crazy
you
X.
know? Exactly. A Crazy X could do it. And so I think it's really about helping them to understand that I'm not trying to take away your dream. You know, I'm trying to get to the root of what it is that you actually want to do. You think that you want to do one thing, but getting to the root of what you actually want to do, and I'm going to help you get there. And I think that that's when they have the aha moment, that I'm not trying to, you know, pivot you to make you interested in something else. I actually just want to come alongside you and show you how STEM, you know, and being even knowledgeable of technology and the times and where things are going will help you become so much more successful.
And that's coupled with, we had a program yesterday where the CEO owner of a company called 3CI, I wrote it down because it just made our remember list, and this is not as up to date. The technologists have done a great job of making all these fancy words and like awesome jargon and things of that nature. But like, really, people need to know 15% of what your product or service is, or anything, for you to buy it. And then they retain about 6% or 3% of that. But his name's Don Barden, and I think you should look him up, investigate that company,
3CI,
and see how they're kind of evolving and pivoting to where technology, it needs to be widespread, and people need to understand technology and not fear technology.
Is that a technology company? Okay.
It's a consulting company. And so they do multi levels of things like IT recruiting, different marketing, things like that. But it's everything will need to evolve, or you can live on your like homestead ranch and like not do anything.
Even farming. Even farming and agriculture, you know.
Right. Unless you're off the grid, there's And even off the grid, there's still some technologies that you use to be off the grid.
Yeah, to stay off the grid.
I mean, even if you have a telephone or even if you're looking up a recipe, you're not going,
Or-
normally in a book or we have a lot of Google doctors now. Like I'm a Google MD myself. Like if I feel a cold coming on, and I'm like, what can I do for myself? Or
YouTube.
a
YouTube
YouTube
maybe
professor.
Yeah.
I
I can be a carpenter now because of YouTube.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
I I hate to be pulling you guys, but everything you said is so important for just expanding, current college students as well, just for them to know that technology is impacting every area, which is one of the reasons why I said whatever degree that I have to go into, I have to involve technology because there's not a place where technology is not present, um, underutilized or overutilized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't get enough. Even coming up through McKesson, it was my role was as a software trainer for McKesson, a corporate trainer. I trained on the software. I set up the hardware. I did big equipment like their prescription counting.
But you got it then. You saw the percentage of people that got it. You saw the percentage of people that didn't get it.
Yeah.
And so you
And they
have
were
that
dying off.
experience.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of mom and pop pharmacies just don't exist anymore because they didn't want to
change. They couldn't move with.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep you guys much longer, but I just want to share this one story with you before I just wrap this up. I went to a place called Chillicothe, Illinois, inside, I know, by Peoria, if you're familiar.
Peoria.
You said, I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, Chillicothe. So I get there, and there's a pharmacist there who had still been doing everything like since 1923, like with apothecary cards and pencil writing prescriptions. And he had a stroke where he could not talk and he was paralyzed on his left side. So he's doing this, and his poor wife, she's just his legs, his arms, his mouth, answering the phone, and she doesn't have that education. She's just his wife supporting him in the business, He couldn't even stand up to go to the bathroom. And so they order a pharmacy system, computer. You've never even seen a computer, okay? And he can't talk. And so I'm asking him to pick up the mouse, and he's, and I'm like, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I stayed with them for an additional 2 weeks. Like I felt like I became their child. But at the end of it, he was able to manage his business himself for the first time in about 5 years. Technology allowed this man to reconcile his claims. I mean, even though he couldn't really vocalize, he could say a cuss word. That was it. That was it. It's funny how, you have a stroke, you can't say anything, but you can say a cuss word. But he hadn't been able to reconcile his claims because of, just the inability and not being able to express to his wife, no, don't do this. Make sure it has this code or, but he could, with technology, he could go with the mouse and, click on a particular tab, see what was paid, why was it paid like, and it changed his life. He was supposed to retire that next year, and he wanted to have the computer in place and digitize everything to make it more attractive. He ended up staying in business for about 7 more years.
Right.
He didn't want to leave because now he could finally do it. So I totally get what you're saying about, don't be a Sears and Roebuck out here. Put your catalog online soon, as soon as you can.
Yeah.
So, do we answer your questions?
Man,
Like,
you over.
what?
I didn't have that list. You just kind of, from the beginning, you kind of answered everything
Yeah, try
all
to get
together.
that.
Yeah. But the last thing I want to know, you mentioned internships. And so I'd like to know, as I take this information back to my class, if someone's interested, what type of internships do you offer and what's the application process? What you look
Yeah,
for?
so the college level interns are typically run through each department and connecting with our colleges.
That's not
is-
the
is on
societies,
mind.
right? Okay,
We're talking like tag or tag ed internships,
okay.
and it's kind of as they arise. Then we get the word out, or we get someone that's referred to us, or something like that.
Are they,
So
long in
they're
duration, or are they paid, or?
They are paid.
They are paid.
The duration depends. I know that we are going to be, Tag Ed is going to be looking for actually, I lied. They already have the person in mind.
Yeah.
But we are going to have an intern in the spring from January to June.
Okay.
And I think that she's in college and they're working with her schedule. So from January to March, she's going to be part-time, and then from March into June or whatever, she's going to be full-time. But yeah, it depends on what the need is and what the department is. And
So
we
it's
kinda work with
high
them.
school, undergrad, and graduate interns?
So Tag Ed
Mhm.
operates like a
Junior,
sophomore,
senior.
junior.
Yeah, you have to be at least 16 years old.
16 to
Okay.
18.
Yeah.
Like still in high school.
Yes, high school
or
internship
just graduating.
program. Or just graduated. So
Yeah.
you just graduated in the summer before your freshman year of college.
And that's our K through 12 initiative where
Yeah.
they seek interns and companies to take interns
Yeah.
and give them an experience for a minimum 5 weeks
Yeah.
of
hmm
an experience in the summer.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So our internship director, she works to get the companies, so to secure companies and partners who say, yeah, I agree to take on a high school or multiple high school interns for the summer. And then she works with the high school students who apply for it and getting their interviews set up and that sort of thing.
The screening process,
Yeah.
vetting,
Yeah.
making sure they're on point for entering into the workforce.
Yeah. And so our students who are going to be going through this program, the pipeline program, that's one of the goals, is that over the course of their junior year, we would prepare them enough to be competitive to apply for these internships and get them, because it's not a guarantee that you're going to get the internship.
Right.
And these students are going to be applying for the same internships that all of the other students who find us are going to be applying for. And so our goal is to get them to a place where they're able to speak to, how their past experiences have prepared them for where they are now, to interview well, to fill out an application that puts their best foot forward, so that they would get accepted, into some of these internships.
I lied. Last question. Promise, I'm out here. So, we talked about what my degree is. What do you think, knowing, having this degree, where I know how you feel about it, John, because you have multiple disciplines, and then you're in a technology company. So I see the benefit of
I'm in a member organization.
a member organization.
Yeah, I don't want to get confused with the technology.
When,
All right.
when you see, a degree like this, a Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies, and then you see, okay, this is the focus, family and community literacy, learning technology. What do you think that degree will open up in the workplace for a candidate with that degree?
To be honest, when I saw this and when I see this, I'm a little bit confused because I don't understand the interdisciplinary kind of study. Like John had to explain it to me a little bit. I mean, I got my degree in computer engineering, and so, but I know that this is becoming more and more popular. But I would love to understand more about so let me turn it back on you. When you chose these two, I know what your motivation behind choosing literacy was, but what types of opportunities were you kind of seeking or expecting to kind of get based on, if I have these two kind of focuses combined, then I could work in such and such a space.
Before I answer that question, I want to see if John
Okay.
can answer my question.
Okay.
Because I think everything you said is the answer. Just, I don't know. Because I
Yeah.
don't know what that is.
Right.
That's a valid answer.
So I if you're going to share this with your professors, like I'm on record for that scares me, because my personal philosophy is I want people pursuing degrees where they know where they want to go and they know what they want to get to, and I'll stand by that, and like I'll die on that stake.
Yeah.
That being said, I tailored my BS degree.
Okay. Which is, say it so I have it for
Bachelor of Science in Educational Studies around adolescent and adult development to work with college students.
Okay.
And so, in essence, majoring in people and then getting a master's in education under Higher Education Student Affairs Administration.
Okay.
Focusing on people. So when you major in people and behavior and things like that, you get really good with working with people. And so you can apply that to any role of working on college campuses, working with college campuses, or working with technology companies, getting them involved in our association. And so as long as you can work with people, who cares what your degree's in? Like, did we need to create a BI, whatever it is, a BIS? Did we need? Is that needed? I don't think so. I don't really care what degrees are. I don't really care where degrees are from. I care about what you want to do, what you've done, and the type of worker you are that's going to make things happen.
Yeah.
So BIS, is that Bachelor's in Interdisciplinary Studies? Is that okay? Gotcha.
Yeah. Great answer though. I mean, and that's, as people are, here we have like the doctors, the professors, the PhDs who are researching these concepts and creating these new educational programs for college students. This is the kind of feedback they want. But to answer your question, this was my idea.
Right.
I had a clothing store. I did really well. I got very sick, deathly sick. Like I passed out multiple times in my building where my employee found me on the ground. And so I said, this is not going to work. I had to change my lifestyle to, heal. And I did. While I was off, I had an epiphany, right? That I wanted to take my own customer service model that I had always implemented as a professional and as an entrepreneur. And I had trained many other professionals and my employees on. And I wrote a book, a customer service handbook. My idea was I'm going to take this handbook and I'm going to go to the state of Georgia, to the Department of Labor, federal agencies, workforce initiatives to create a certification program for a customer service certification program, because there is not one. Most of the labor agencies teach interviewing skills, resume building, all the things you said, preparing someone, but customer service is often left to the corporation itself to train the person on how do you deal with this customer. But bottom line, there should be a baseline. There's no baseline. I created one. Then I thought to myself, I have a lot of experience. I could send my resume, I can walk in the door, I could try to push my way through and knock. But I want to be credentialed. I don't want the lack of a bachelor's degree or, just a couple years of college, or like you said, a psychology degree.
I mean, any degree is a degree.
Yeah, but it's like mostly when I think you said on the phone, like if you have a psychology degree, you got to go to the master's level.
I definitely said that. I say that to anyone.
Right, but you know how you were saying, so I have a psychology degree, so I need that master level specialty somewhere in something. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go back to school, and I kind of fell into this because I thought when I went into the program that community literacy had something to do about teaching people in the community. I didn't think about it in the terms of teaching people reading and writing, adult education, life skill training. I just thought public information.
Mhm.
Okay. And so that is why I decided to go back to school, why I decided this particular degree. And knowing that I have this product already, of course, I want to put it online. I
Mhm.
want to create a mock, an open content class.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I want to create a webinar. I want to have these tools
Mhm.
available where people can certify at 2 o'clock in the morning. I can train people across the world.
Mhm.
So the only way to do that is technology. I want to develop an app where you can be on MARTA and you can also, be taking the class.
Mhm.
And the only way I want to know, as a learning technologist, how do I design that? How do I create? How is it most effective? And so that's was the point of my taking that study. And what's actually happened through this process is my mind has been blown. I meet people like you. I get a lot of feedback, not just about my degree, but just about what's available. What are people doing out here? Because
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur. I've been doing my own thing for
Yeah.
some years.
I mean, when you talk about your thing, I think of Disney and Chick-fil-A. And so how are you different than Disney and Chick-fil-A? Because when I think of customer service
Mm-hmm.
and guest interactions and guest service recovery, all that, as a former Disney cast member and a connoisseur of Chick-fil-A, never worked for them,
Yeah.
but I that's the benchmarks of customer service that I
exactly.
think of. And so, and then when in regards to your degree, the learning technology, I think of online learning, I think of
Mm-hmm.
curriculum design, I think of all those types of things. And so really, how do you, like, I don't, you may have like the best customer service experience ever. I don't know,
Yeah.
right? I don't know you like that yet. But are you going to be better than the Disneys and the Chick-fil-A's? Or can you maybe go to the Disneys and Chick-fil-A's and say, how do I work for you?
Yeah.
And how do I get the experience? So that way, not only you have the degree credentials, but you have like with Disney on my resume
Mm-hmm.
and the level of customer service experience that I have, no one meets it.
Yeah.
And most don't meet it.
Well, I have.
So,
Well, and here's the
But-
thing: when you see this family and community literacy learning technology on a resume, like when someone sees that, it is going to have them. I think it'll generate more questions than answers. So they're going to wonder, like, well, what does that mean? And I think, like to John's point, that in addition with a recognizable name or company or something as an
Mhm.
experience, someone who you work for, I think it just adds to the the level of accreditation that you
Right.
would have.
And I've worked for major companies. I have an awesome customer service background. I worked for Darden Restaurants in college. I had 3 jobs when I was in college. I put myself through the first time, Michigan State, and what I worked for Darden is Red Lobster.
Mhm.
gotcha.
Okay. So I worked at Red Lobster, and I mean, I like money as a college student, like tips, because that was like cash. I could eat that day, kind of
It
thing.
never changes.
Right. So I thought, waitressing or being a server is all about service and making sure this person is happy. I correlated the fact that if I provide a good service, I made more money.
Mhm.